Everyone, this is Randy Morse, fishdoc.com's international correspondent with another report from The Fool on the Hill. Well, it's December in the Pacific Northwest, and as you can see around me, it's fairly typical weather, whether you're living in Oregon, Washington, or here in British Columbia. That's right, it's cold and it's wet. So, of course, any sensible, reasonable person's thoughts go to Hawaii. Right away, I think of surfing, which makes me think of the Pipeline, my favorite surfing spot on the north shore of Oahu. And Pipeline makes me think of the apparently magical connection that exists between the islands that consist of, or make up, I should say, the state of Hawaii and the great state of Oregon, and specifically the University of Oregon Fighting Ducks football team. It's really extraordinary how many fantastic players have played at the University of Oregon who come from the state of Hawaii. And of course, the most stellar example of that is playing for us right now. That's right, Polynesian Player of the Year and soon-to-be Heisman winner Marcus Mariota. But there's more to come. For example, and I have a bit of a list over here, because my Hawaiian pronunciation is not what it really should be. Give me something in Swedish or Norwegian, no problem, but Hawaii, that's a little more complicated. We're talking, for example, already committed to the Ducks, Canton Kamatule. He's a four-star player. He's 6 foot 6 inches tall. He weighs 280 pounds. He's a defensive end. He hails from Punahou High School, and he is an awesome, awesome defensive player committed to the Ducks. Or how about Rex Manu, who's 6'3", weighs 300 pounds. He's a defensive tackle from Punahou High School. Again, underrated, sure to be a fantastic stalwart on the Oregon line once he gets here. Or Dylan Kane, who is 6'3", weighs just a smidge under 200 pounds. He's a hard-hitting safety who hails from Kamehameha, pardon me, I'm terrible at this, like I said, high school. Those three guys are all committed to the Ducks right now. And there are another couple of possibilities. First of all, we've got Semisi Uluave, who happens to be Canton Kamatule's cousin. Now, Semisi is an offensive guard. We could use a good offensive guard. I'm sure you agree. Semisi is 6'5". He tops the scales at 315 pounds, hails from Punahou High School. And what I love about this guy is that he hasn't committed yet. He's said all along that he's really interested in addition to Oregon, UCLA. But on his official visit to Oregon, he raved about the experience not at the University of Oregon so much, although he did rave about that, but the whole process of getting to Eugene. He was stuck at the Portland airport and ended up striking up conversations with fellow passengers who had no idea who he was, and he was struck by the fact that they seemed to him to be very Hawaiian. That is, Oregonians seemed to him to have the aloha spirit, which means friendly, outgoing, just all around good guys and gals. So I'm hopeful that Oregonian-style aloha spirit is going to convince Semisi to join his cousin Canton at the University of Oregon. We'll know soon. And then, here's a real favorite. Now, this kid is still just a sophomore in high school. He goes to a school called St. Louis High School, which many of you will recognize as being Marcus Mariota's alma mater. And in fact, this kid was taken in, if you will, by Marcus when Marcus was well ahead of him, but still in high school, helped the kid out. And the kid I'm talking about is Tua Tagovailoa. He's 6 feet tall, weighs 200 pounds right now, and like Marcus, is a quarterback. Now, Cal Lee, who coached Marcus and is now Tua's coach, says this about this young man. Honestly, he can run, he can throw the ball just like Marcus. The coach goes on to say that Tua is well ahead of his predecessors in that his numbers as a sophomore in high school are already exceeding those of most of the players who came before him as juniors and seniors. What are we talking about in terms of numbers? Well, young Tua threw this past year for 2,583 yards, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He ran for 576 yards and added another 8 touchdowns on the ground. Now, those are pretty stellar numbers. And the kid goes on to say that his dream school, the school that he's always wanted to go to, the University of Oregon. So, there you go. We do have a pipeline from Oregon to Hawaii, and it's no surprise, really, in addition to the fact that, like Hawaiians, Oregonians do have a sort of aloha spirit, we share some other similarities. Number one, and most obviously, the Pacific Ocean. Number two, volcanoes. Number three, people who live there really want to live there. So that's it for now. Think about that, and from here in the woods, this is Randy Morse saying aloha.